yellow. Hi there, it's Barbara Anna, and today I'll be showing you 3 different DIY projects that you can do. You can either do them and keep them for yourself, or you can give them as gifts. Now, I am the queen of Procrastination Nation, so I am just now doing my Christmas presents. These could be either Christmas presents or holiday gifts or any type of gift whatsoever. They're not really Christmassy themed. Let's get started. So for this project, what you will need is 3 mason jars. I chose 3 of them of different sizes. Of course, you could do more than 3, but I think these 3 together just look really nice. So you'll also need Mod Podge and applicators, some glitter, stuff to put the glitter in so you don't make a total mess. I decided to cover one of my jars with lace, and I found this buried in my closet. It's an old dress-up dress that I don't think I'll be wearing ever again, so I'm just going to cut some of the fabric off of this to use as my lace. Some scissors, of course. And then I got these letters and numbers. They are 2 inches big and they're supposed to be repositionable. So let's pray that I'll be able to stick them on the jars and peel them off to kind of make them a more personalized look. I already cut out the letters that I will be using. First thing that I did before I brought my mason jars, I found them in my basement and they were kind of really yucky and dirty. As you can see, the tops are really gross, but I have a little plan for those, so don't worry. The first thing you want to do is really give them a good cleaning and take the lids off. The first one that I'm going to do is the glitter. This one has a design, so I'm not really going to do anything on this one, so I'm just going to put it aside till later. And I decided to make this one the glittered jar as the personalized name. I'm just going to stick it. You want to try not to get any wrinkles in it because glitter will get underneath. I'm going to stick it on there. And again, these should be removable. So I'm hoping, well, it says repositionable. I'm hoping that me putting it on so hard won't disrupt me being able to take them off after. So what these will do is keep the glitter from getting on where it is. So hopefully there will be glitter all over the rest of the jar. And then right where the stickers are, there won't be any glitter. I have my stickers on and they're all pressed on, and again, hopefully they will come off. So that's what it looks like here. So now I'm just going to pour some glitter onto my plate. I've decided to go with the silver glitter for this one. Okay, and now I'm going to Mod Podge the rest of the jar. I think I'm going to do it in sections because Mod Podge dries fairly quickly. And these are mason jars, so when you Mod Podge it on, you want to make sure that you really get in all the little crevices. It doesn't matter if your glue goes on super evenly, because I don't think it truly makes a difference if the glitter is fully even all the way around. I think it might be kind of cool if it's not. Now I'm going to stick this section into the glitter. I have the first side done, and I'm just going to tap it lightly upside down back onto the glitter plate, just so it kind of, the excess glitter comes off. Now I'm going to go on to the next section, and this is starting in with the A, and I'm trying not to paint over the actual letter, just because I don't want there to be any extra glue over trying to peel the letters off. I find that because it's such a round surface, instead of dipping the jar into the plate, it is sort of easier to kind of just sprinkle it on with your fingers. It does take a little more time and it's quite a bit messier, but I think it gets the glitter on just a little bit better. One of the things that you can do with these jars is make them into candles. Put a little tea candle in there and have it shine on through. Okay, so this is what it looks like before I took the letters off, and I am going to set it aside to dry a little bit before I start to peel the letters off. And I haven't quite decided if I'm going to go over this in Mod Podge or not, because I do have matte Mod Podge and these are obviously sparkles, but I think it might look kind of interesting to have some sparkles over with Mod Podge. So I'm just going to test it out a little bit on the bottom before I do the whole entire jar. And while the rest of the jar is drying, I'm going to put that aside to dry. So for the next jar, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my biggest jar and my lace, and I'm just going to lay the lace down on the table and measure out how much I'm actually going to need, similar to wrapping a present. And then I'm going to cut a little extra just because Knowing me, I might need a little more. So it's kind of really hard to tell if you're cutting straight, but it shouldn't really matter because it's going to be glued onto the jar anyway, so we should be all right. I'd rather have more than less, but if you do cut less of your fabric, you're gonna be gluing it anyway. It won't really look like it's missing any pieces, so you should be fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is make sure that there is in fact enough lace to go all the way around the jar. And look at that, there is. So I'm not going to put any lace around where the top of the jar would go, just because it might hinder putting the jar back together. So what I'm going to do is hold it up against the jar and then cut off the excess at the bottom. Oh dear, I think I need to put it on the other way. There we go. That was a bit nerve-wracking. I think this one would look really, really nice as a candle, just because the light shining through would just look so pretty. So I'm just going to tape the edges up along the jar so that I know how much extra lace to cut off. Alrighty, so I have everything taped and I'm just going to cut down where I don't need. It's all right if it overlaps just a bit. And I'm going to cut it off the bottom, but I am going to leave a little extra to glue onto the bottom just because, again, I'd rather have a little excess than not have enough. That's what it looks like right now. So now I'm going to untape the tape and start Mod Podging. And you want to try to remember which end is your top and which is your bottom. So this is my top, and one side of the lace might be a little shinier than the other, and you want to try to have that one towards like the outside of the jar. So now with my bigger Mod Podge brush, I'm just going to stick my lace right onto my jar. We're just going to keep doing that all the way around the jar until everything is glued on. I am going to put something down like this plate while I roll it because some of the glue is still wet and my table is a little glittery because silly me started with the glittery project instead of just the plain glue. And you don't want any of your lace to have any wrinkles or anything like that in it. You want it to lay as flat as possible. Alrighty, there is some excess lace over here. As you can see, it's hanging off, and I am going to cut some of that off. There we go. I am now going to turn the jar upside down and glue the little extra pieces to the bottom of the jar. So much glue in my hands. I am getting glue all over the place. This is not going as planned. Alrighty, I think I just need to let that dry. Okay, so then what I'm going to do with the rims of the different jars is I'm also going to glitter those. For the lace jar, what I'm going to do is the gold glitter because I think that will look really nice together. Of course, these are not permanently attached, so you can move the different lids between the jars. And these are old and rusty and disgusting because, like I said, I found them in my basement. I don't know how long they've been down there. So I'm just going to put glitter all over them and hopefully you won't be able to tell how yucky they actually are. You want to try not to get glue on the inside. Of course, I just got it all over. And then I'm going to set it down, dry over here. Okay, while the bottom of this one is not completely dry, I am going to go ahead and continue. The parts that are dry, it does look fairly good with the Mod Podge. I was right, it kind of has a satin finish, but I feel like Mod Podging over it will just keep the sparkles that are there on so much better. I don't want sparkles to be falling off everywhere. So what I'm going to do now is try and hopefully be able to remove the letters. So I'm going to start with the A. Oh, it is coming off. Wow, look how nicely that came off. There we go. I think it looks really, really nice. I am just going to go ahead and Mod Podge over all the places that have glitter. Okay, so now that I'm getting closer to the letters, I am going to switch over to the smaller applicator so I can have a more detailed and more control over the brush. Okay, so that's drying. Now I'm going to check on the lace and see how that's going. Oh, the bottom is still drying. Go figure. I'm going to Mod Podge over the whole thing just to reinforce keeping the lace on, similarly like I did to the glitter. You kind of want to do a light layer because I kind of globbed it on the bottom of the jar and it's not really drying very well. So it would be best to do light layers. And I believe we are finished. voila! While I'm letting everything else dry, this seems pretty dried in itself, so I am going to Mod Podge over this to make sure all these stay on as well, especially because this is the lid and lots of twisting will be done. I don't want the glitter to end up falling off. And then I have this one left that I don't really want to do much to, just because it kind of has some shape in it already. This one I'm definitely going to put a little tea candle in. I am going to do something with this lid. I kind of want to do this one gold just because there is so much silver with the 3 jars. So I think I am going to do this one gold. Here we go. Again, and I'm just going to do this one exactly the same as I did the other one. Okay, so for this project, what you're going to need is cork. I got the Art Minds cork wall tiles with adhesive squares, a cutting board because you don't want to cut your surface, a box cutter, circles, some fabric, a hot glue gun and glue, scissors, and a little plate for the hot glue to stick on. I am going to start to draw along where I want it to be cut. And don't worry about making a mess with your marker because you're going to cover everything with fabric anyway. And now I'm going to take my box cutter and I'm just going to cut around this top of a Tupperware container so then I can cover this with fabric and make it into a nice corkboard. There we go. Beautiful. Next one I'm going to do is a size circle. Look at that. You don't even need a box cutter. I guess if you had thicker fork, a box cutter might actually be more useful, but this is so thin I can cut it with just everyday household scissors. So I'm going to cut the last circle now. So here are my 3 circles. This is what they look like, 3 different sizes. I'm going to start off with 3, and if I find I need more, I will cut some more. Alrighty, now that we have our circles cut, we are going to move on, and I'm going to try to make a K. There we go. I think I'm going to try to use this line as the back, straight edge of the K, because it's already such a straight line. Alrighty, let's start cutting. Yeah, I think this width is okay. These are the fabrics that I have, and I think what I'm going to do is use a polka dotted one for the letter and the plain colors for the circles. Alrighty, so let's get it cutting. I'm thinking I should have ironed this before doing this. Oh well. I think before I glue it down, I'm going to try taping it just to make sure that it actually will all work. There we go. So I think that looks pretty good. Obviously, I'm going to make it like it's tight as possible, especially around here. Oh, alrighty, I'm going to start gluing it. Okay, so here's the finished K. And then what I'm going to do is just stick these on the back. They're double-sided adhesives, and I'm going to stick one up here and one down here. So then it will be hung by these 2. So I've decided for the smallest circle it's going to match the K, and then for the biggest circle it's going to be pink, and then for the medium circle it's going to be purple. I'm just going to cut the fabric for the bigger circle. Okay, and then I'm just going to start gluing. I'm not going to bother taping this one. I think it'll be much easier to do. Okay, period. That's what the backs of them look like. Fronts look a bit better. So alrighty, I'm going to do the rest of them now. So now I'm just going to add stickers to the back of each. So here is the finished product. Voila! Ooh. Okay, so for this one, it is by far the simplest and easiest one, and it's especially easy for those like myself who like to procrastinate. So the things that you will need is a glass or plastic clear ornament, some hot chocolate mix, a funnel, and mini marshmallows. So what you do is first you take off the top of the thing, you just put it aside. Then you put the funnel in and you open your hot chocolate packet and you just pour it in. Depending on the size of your funnel, you want to go a little slowly. Don't want to dump it all in at once. So that's what it looks like with the first hot chocolate packet in it. So that's 2 hot chocolate packets. And then this last hot chocolate packet actually has little mini marshmallows in it, which is fine. If you do it with the mini marshmallows, then you might want to pour a little more slowly than the others because it does get clogged and banging around is a bit frustrating. And that's what 3 packets of mix looks like. And now you can add white chocolate chips, mini chocolate chips, mint, and things like that. I'm a little more traditional, so I'm just going to have my mix and my mini marshmallows. So what you do next is just kind of shove them in. Now, if you're going to be traveling with these, for example, I brought these back to school with me and they had to go on a bus and they kind of got all mixed up. So I would suggest putting just the powder in because that's kind of like the most annoying to put in. Then after you get to wherever you're going, you can just slip the marshmallows in. So I just kind of keep going until the ornament is filled. Alrighty, so that's about good. And then you put your top back on like so. You just pinch the little sides and shove it right on it. However, sometimes it is a little heavy, so I wouldn't suggest holding it by this, but to make it a little cuter, you can tie on a ribbon. And now, if whoever you're giving this to is of legal drinking age, you can tie on a little nip of Bailey's to the bottle and kind of make it like adult hot chocolate. If not, you can just cut off these ends. There you have it. Super easy, super quick, and it actually looks really cute, especially if you add a little extra mint or white chocolate. You could even give them a whole package. This one came in a pack of 4, and they could each be different flavors of hot chocolate. So you could use the traditional mix and then add mint or extra chocolate or make it like white hot chocolate with a maybe less mix but way more white chocolate chips. So there we have it. Okay, so those are my 3 DIY projects. I would say that this one is the easiest, then the mason jars, and then probably going on to the cork board. It's just a little more involved. So this has just a lot of Mod Podging, not super hard. While this one, you have to cut the cork, hot glue, burn your poor little fingers, but not super challenging. So I found all of these on Pinterest, and I will put the links below in the description box. And if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. Everyone that comments, I will respond to each and every comment. Also, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and Tumblr. And if you recreate any of these, please send me photos. Stay excellent. Bye!